In this screencast, I will show you how can we make a create, read, update, delete, CRUD application using Laravel 5.6. I have added authentication functionality with this application and pagination things. And this is actually the end result of this application. Anyone can see all posts and the single post. But in order to create a new post or edit a post or delete a post, the people have to be registered user, authenticate user. Suppose if I click on create post, it takes me to the login page. So if I log in here, now I will able to create a post. Suppose I create a post. This is my first post. So, and putting some dummy content here. If I click on add post, so this is the first post. If I want to edit this thing, if I click on edit and update this post, it will update. This post have been updated successfully. If I go to home page again, so this is the post. And since I am logged in here, I can log out from here as well. If I click on it, take me to the home page. It's actually the welcome page of the Laravel. So I'm in my desktop. I'm opening my terminal. Sit into desktop. So here I'll make a Laravel project. Composer, create hyphen project Laravel/Laravel. Then what will be your Laravel project name? Say I kept blog. My Laravel downloaded successfully. It actually taking a lot of time. In your case also it will take huge time since it has a lot of dependency. So if I sit inside my blog directory, so currently I'm in my blog directory. If I run a PSP artisan command, PSP artisan serve, it will actually run a development server. So if I go to the localhost 8000, this is the Laravel. So Laravel installed successfully. So now I make another tab and open the whole project into my Sublime. So we all know the Laravel is a Mvc framework. So what actually Mvc? So this is a Mvc framework. We all know Mvc means model, view, and controller. So whenever something, suppose you go to a single route, this is a route, right? So it actually, first you will go to route. Route will call a controller, and controller actually dispatch a view, show a view. So whenever view need data from database or anywhere else, it actually talk to model. So whenever you controller need data, it will getting data from model. Whenever something he want to store data into database, he will actually sending data to model. So this is the basic model view controller. But the first thing comes route. Route is essential. So any request will come to route. Route will send it to the controller. Controller will show the views accordance the request. But in between, model will only communicate with controller. Whenever views needs some another data, some data, it will actually fetching data from model. Or in some cases, suppose in case of creating, it actually giving data to model. In case of getting, reading some data, it actually getting data from model. So this is the basic structure of the model view controller. So where actually I will find this fourth thing. So this is the routes. It has 4 routes for Laravel: API, channel, console, and web. Since we are going to make a website, so all routes will be available here. So this is the current route. You may find out whenever someone go to the route, it will show the welcome page. So this is the welcome view. This page actually the welcome page of the Laravel. And where I will find the controller. So this is the place, app, HTTP, controller. Here actually all the controller will be resides. And all models will be the directly root of the app. Here user is a model. This is actually model. So 3 things. And another thing is views. So views will be found under the resources views. So model will be app YourModel.php. This will be your model location, and route will be routes web.php, and controller will be app HTTP is actually uppercase, but you will understand, I think. Controller, I think it's controllers. Controllers plural form, this is because it has a lot of controller. Okay, then your controller.php. So then route controller model, then view will be resources views your view.php, whatever view you have. Laravel comes with artisan command line tool. You already seen some command here, php artisan serve. Using the serve command, it actually make a development server so that we can access this server using localhost 8000. So in order to make a model, command is php artisan make :model, then your model name. So another thing is called controller. So that will be your controller name. So other than this 4 file, we need another 3 things. One is database things, which actually you will get those inside this database folder. Database folder, there is 3 folders: factories, migration, seeds. So factory is actually for the updating some dummy data. I mean, if you test your website and you put some dummy data in your website, so this is for factories. Those factory data will be seeded using this database seeder. And migration, actually your table structure, the schema structure. Suppose Laravel comes with built-in authentication, so it has some user table. So this is the structure of the user tables. If you take a look, this is the increments ID, string name, string email, and it should be unique, and string password, then remember token, timestamp for the created date and updated date. So beside this, we actually have to know about the 3 things: database / factories / your factory.php, then database / migration / your migration file .php. And this is actually you will generate, but the route, where we will write the route things: database / database seeder.php. To create a migration command is php artisan make migration, say your table name dot. This is the command actually. So to create a factory, the command is php artisan make factory your factory. Then I have to send a flag, m flag will be app your model name. So that's all. So every time we want to CRUD something, we actually need this 4 file. So same, all those 4 files we can get through the single command as well. So this is a very handy. If you want to make those things individually, you can make it, or if you want to using the simple command, this is called php artisan make model. Just here you will tell a for all, and this single command output and this 4 command output is same. This is the basic model view controller flow, and this is the how some essential artisan command. Now if I go to the route.web.php, so currently we have a welcome route. Suppose I want to make another route, say get, say here I tell hello. So whenever hello comes, say I will return hello all. So if I go to the /hello, you'll find out we get this hello world, which we are telling here. Whenever someone go to the hello route, the controller will set the hello world. So thing is, currently it's a single line of code, but in function there should be might be 100 of line. So what will be happen in that case? It will become clumsy, right? And think about if in this page there will be might be more than 100 route. So in that case, you can't maintain those things. So this is the reason they have a solution. You should make a controller file where you will keep your all action. So suppose we make another controller. So before making a controller, I just used git for tracking my file. It's totally optional. You don't need to use it, but if you use it, it's good, actually good practice. I will make a controller called, say, PSP artisan make controller, say page controller. We know that now currently controller will be available app http controller and your controller. App http is the controller and my controller is page controller. So here I make a function, public function index return hello. So instead of function, I'll give the reference that my controller name is face controller and method name is index. That's all. Now if I go to my website again, if I reload this page, I'm getting the same result. I mean the hello result, which actually I'm telling inside the page controller. So this is the basic route and controller things. And sometimes we kept the name of the route, say name equal to say hello. So if I go to my terminal and make a command PSP artisan route list, you'll find out, excuse me. So currently we have 3 routes. For the root, it is a closure, middleware is web, and currently another one is hello, which we just created, and its name also hello. So this is for using this name function, we actually declare what is the name of this route, and this is the reference, I mean where this action resides. Action resides inside this page controller. The function name is index, I mean method name is index. That's all. So this is basic route controller, and another one is model. So we make a model PSP artisan make model, say model name page. So we make a model name page. If I go to the page, so page model, that will be inside app folder. So this is the model actually. So now I am making a public static function only for returning some dummy data. So I make a static function, I make it static public static. So this is my model. The model name is page. So suppose I want to show all the fruits in this index page. What I need to do, say fruits equal, our model name is page and function name is fruits. So that will actually give me the all fruits since we return fruits here. So currently our namespace is app http controllers, but the page thing we are using here, it's from the different namespace. So suppose page namespace is app. So whenever you want anything, you want to use anything different than this namespace, you have to actually use the use statement. So in this case, that will be the under app page. App page. So we have fruits. If we return, excuse me, fruits and go to our website, if we reload this, so this is the fruits we are getting from the model. So currently in model we are sending data, some hard coded data, but in the future we will actually getting data from the database. I mean in model through we will actually talk to database. So this is the basic about model. So what actually we know about so far? Route, controller, model. So the one thing is left is views. So views will be inside resource views file. So any PSP file would be valid views. Suppose I make a view, say index.php, say here basic HTML tag, and so I'm writing something. This is hello world view. So this is the view. If we go to face controller again, so I'm telling we want to return that view. So return view. So what is the view name? So view name is index.php, but we shouldn't use any extension, only index. And if it's stay inside a folder, suppose some folder, you have to put this thing or folder dot index. It's up to you whether you use dot or slash. So in our case, it's directly inside this view, so file name will be only views. So if we, so this is the hello world view, and this is the, so you understand the basic PHP things. Actually, it's self-explanatory actually, but thing is, you may find out they are using something called Blade templating engine. We are using index.php, but they are using .blade.php. So either you can go with .php or either go with .blade.php. But using Blade PHP is very convenient because it gives you a lot of flexibility. So we will actually always go with the .blade.php. So Blade actually the templating language, and it's very easy. Even it's very easier than raw PHP. You'll find out in this video itself. So we clear about the routing things, model things, view things, controller things. So now one thing is left. Think about, we have a fruits, right? But we want to pass those fruits inside this view. So we have to pass an array. Fruits will be these fruits. The fruits we getting from here. Now fruits will be available here. This index.blade.php. So we can iterate fruits. So normally we used to with this for each loop. I mean the PHP for each loops, but Blade has more flexible syntax, just for each and for each. So suppose in our case, fruits as fruit. So this is kind of echo tag. We can echo using say fruit. Now if I reload this page, we'll get, excuse me, okay, we didn't echo here, echo fruit. If I reload here, I'm getting the 3 fruits here since I'm iterating here. Or we can use the Blade syntax for echo. This is double curly brace. Same thing, just if I call fruit, that's enough. So it's kind of very simpler actually. So that's the reason Blade is much flexible than the raw PHP. So far we learned model, view, controller, route, and how to pass variable to the view, and how to iterate using the Blade directive, this thing called directive. So if I see the git status, we change actually the route and the page controller, page.php, those files we are just new created. So we will going to delete all those things. Now we are clean. We delete everything. Now we start from scratch. Now we know the model, we know the view, we know the controller, and we know the how to pass data to views, and how to keep named some route. Now our objective is to make CRUD application. So CRUD means create, read, update, delete. We all know that. So I am planning to make a post where will be title and content, only 2 fields. So how many routes we have to write for that? If you think about, we will read all post. We will read single post. We will create a page to showing a form to create post. Then we will make a action page where actually through this action we will store the post content, I mean form content into database. I kept name store route. So another thing for the editing, suppose you want to edit something, so you need to make a edit page. You need to make a update route in your, I mean after editing, where those forms should be actioned. The last one is delete. We actually need 7 things. So this is called get, since we just want to getting from database. This is called get, since we want to getting from database. In this route we will just show a form for creating post. So this is also get, but when it come to store, it will be post. When it's come to edit, I mean when we will just show a form for editing, that will be get. For update, so this is kind of different. This is called put or patch. In HTML we have only post and get HTTP bar, but in server we have actually the 5 things: post, get, put, patch and delete. Normally post HTTP for creating a new record in database, get for getting any file or getting any view and getting any data, and put for actually updating, patch for updating, and delete for deleting any data. So Laravel already have those things, but since our HTTP don't have, so Laravel already have some function. That way we can told to the server that it actually put route, it actually the delete route. When we making CRUD, you will understand all those things. We can know the all route list using the PHP artisan route list command. So currently it has only the 3 route. So I'm going to the route web.php file. I'm delete the whole thing. Okay, I'm not deleting welcome part. So we'll make all those 4 files using this single command: php artisan make model name is post. You always have to consider, I mean it's kind of a convention, model name always will be the singular and the singular form of the table's name. So I tell all, I mean using -a flag. So it creating the 4 file. So if I go to the app, you will find out this post has been created. If I go to the HTTP controller, and this is the post controller, and if I go to the database factory, this is post factory. This factory file is created, and this is the migration file. This is the migration file where I will state what will be the column of my post. So table string string title table text content. So this is actually the variable character for the MySQL, and this is the text data type of the MySQL. So now we need to make a database and connect those database with my Laravel project. So I'm logging to my MySQL. I create a database, blog. I'm quitting from MySQL. In the root, something called .env, I mean the environment file. Here I'll telling my database name is blog, username is root, and I don't have any password. If you have a older MySQL, you have to tell Laravel that default string length should be 191 character or less than 191 character. So if you want to change this, you need to go to the app service provider. App service provider, I mean app service provider is a file. When Laravel load your all file, before loading every file, it actually first go check this app service provider boot method. So here I am telling Laravel my default string length should be 191. Schema default string gts length 191, and since it has a namespace, so we have to tell Laravel use schema. So you may find out in that case we are using the whole path, but here we are using some alias. This is because a schema is available in the alias. So where you will find all alias, if I go to the config app.php, you will find out all alias there. So for the schema, this is the schema alias. If we can use the whole thing, or we can easily just use schema. So it's pretty convenient, so I'm go with this schema. So everything right. Now I have to migrate with the database. PHP artisan migrate. So it's migrated successfully. Now if I log into our MySQL, use blog, select, describe, post. So this is the structure. It has title, content, which we gave, and Laravel already comes with ID and created it, and content updated it, those 3 fields. So we just added 2 fields. So I'm quitting from here. I stop this server and run this server again. Whenever you change the .env file, you have to restart your server again. PHP artisan serve. So now the first thing, we need to make some dummy data inside our database. So in order to make a dummy data, we will go to the database post factory here. So I'm telling in database title will be, they are passing some faker library, faker, for seeding your database with your fake data, say faker sentence. Then content will be faker paragraph, say 6 paragraph. So now I have to register this post factory here, database seeder. Factory will be post class and create function. So I have to include this namespace here. Use app post PHP artisan db seed. Okay, my paragraph spelling is wrong actually. There is a typo. GRAPH paragraph. Now if I run this command again, PHP artisan db :seed. Now my data is seeding since I didn't get any error. If I go to MySQL, user root, blog, select, so here this dummy post has been seeded successfully. Now I am quitting here. Now I have to add our route inside this web.php file, routes, web.php file. We will use resource route. We know in case of crud we need a 7 endpoint. So resource route already has, so I mean if we make the single route, it will make the 7 route. And force controller already has 7 function for that, since we are using flag A. So resource controller look like that. Resource, we are telling whenever the post will be our base route, and the controller name. So controller name is post controller. So PHP artisan route list. You'll find out there is 7 route. Now this is the name, post.index, post.store. This is for storing, and the method is post, and this is for creating, this is for showing the single post, this is for updating. Look at here, it's a put or patch method. And for the deleting, this is a delete method, and it has a name, post.destroy. And for the editing, it is a get method, and this is name is post.edit. So our route completed. Now we'll first go to our model. Model name is post.php. So we have to tell this model all the field inside this post table should be fillable. So we can tell fillable equal title and content. So this is the one thing, or same thing we can accept through the protected, guarded equal to nothing. I mean this is kind of reverse. If you want to fillable any column of your database, you just put inside this fillable array. But if you have a lot of data, and I mean lot of column, in that case might be guarded will be the best choices. Excuse me, guarded is spelling wrong. GUARDED, guarded. The guarded did nothing. I mean I'm not going to guard any column of this database. So it actually, I can, if I submitted any data through the form, it will actually receive data and create a post inside my database. So now we will go to the post controller. So I need essential the 4 view for the single post, for the all post, for the edit page, and for the create page. So resource, insert views, I make a folder called post, make a file blade.php, this for all post, create.blade.php, this is for creating a post, edit.blade.php, this is for editing a post, show.blade.php, this is for showing a single post. So I first go HTML5. I personally try to use the Bootstrap. And copy Bootstrap. So all the CSS content actually, CSS or any asset actually stay inside this public folder. So this is a CSS, so I make a file called bootstrap.css, and I'm pasting all the Bootstrap content here. So it's a Bootstrap file. So we can link /css/bootstrap.css. So you may understand right now the public is actually the root folder of our application. So this is the root, and inside public there is folder name CSS, insert CSS, bootstrap.css, our Bootstrap file. So that's all. So here I make a container. Margin of 5. So if I go to the post controller index method, we will just return this view, return view locating inside post/index. So instead of slash we can use dot. So our server already running. If I go our server /post, so this is the all post. So now we will make a query to getting post from the database. Post equal our post model all. That's all. It will actually getting all data from database. So we have to use this fpost. We already using fpost. Since we run this command, that's the reason it actually already having this use statement here. So I'm getting all the post here, but I have to pass those post inside this view. So in order to first view, I just tell post. That's all actually. Now I can use the post. It actually a array of post. If I go to the index.blade.php, I'll iterate all those posts here. So I make a card. Say post title. So if I go our browser, if I reload this page, so this is the all post actually we are getting here. So there is 30 post. Might be in between margin will be good for looking. Say margin of 4. If I reload our page, this is now it's look decent. So this is the list of posts. Now we have to give the appropriate link for the showing page. So this is the link. So if I go our route, I'll find out for the showing certain, this is the name of the route, post, show, and it takes one parameter called post. So link will be route, post, show, and it will take a ID as a parameter. host ID. So if I reload this thing in my Chrome browser, so this is 1. If I click the second one, this is 2. Go to our show page. So this is our show page. So now something comes in mind. Think about. So in show page also we'll have such kind of bootstrap file, header, footer, those file. So that could be a good practice. So if we make a master file. So in raw PHP we don't have such kind of master concept, but here we have such kind of concept. Master.blade.php. So I'm copying whole thing from index.php and pasting here. And I'm deleting from body. I'm deleting everything from body. And I'm yielding here. I mean, everything will be as usual in every page, but I'm telling that this is kind of place where all the content, I mean all the variable content will be placed. Now if I go to index page, I can delete all those things right now. Now I have to tell that it extends our master. So you may find out master I actually write direct inside this views. If you have a masters inside any folder, you have to tell folder dot or folder slash. Now I tell another directive called section, content and section. So here we are telling we are extending our master file, and this is the content, and this content we already yielding here. This is yield content. I mean the all content we are putting inside this index.blade.php file, that will be actually located here, this place. Okay, so since container is needing everywhere, that could be good idea to keep container inside master. So if I go to the index.blade.php, I can remove container right now. So in this case also we will get the same result. If I reload this page again, we are getting same. Okay, so now we have to work with the single page, show.blade.php. So it will extend our master file. Then section will be content. I will write our all end section. Okay, we can use stop directive as well. If I tell the stop, that is also same thing. So I make a card. So that will be the first title. Inside body I make a p tag, and here I'll give first content. So we have to load this page from the controller, post controller. So this is actually the show method. We have 7 methods. If we visit this 7, if we browse this 7 method: index, create, store, show, edit, update, and destroy. So you will get the some little bit about documentation about before every method. So we'll return view. So view name will be host show, and we will pass the host. So if I click on this post, you'll find out this is the post. It's loading single post. This is post number 1. So if I click on the another post, this is the another post. So our two read file done, I mean index and show page. Now we will work with the create page. Okay, rather it would be better if we go make some navigation bar. So navigation bar will make inside our footer, I mean master. Say busy info, text white, padding 5. So this route is for post index. And another one is create post, create post. So if I go all post, we are getting this thing. Okay, after navigation I will give little margin bottom, say 3. So now it's look decent. Might be footer, giving footer also would be good. Before body, bg, dark, text white, so padding 4, text center. So if we reload our page, we make our footer as well. All right, series apps, your name 2018. So our header footer done. Now if I click on create post, it's take me to the create post page, but we didn't make this page yet. Create.blade.php, extend master. This section will be content and section. So I'm making using a form. So form method of certainly will be the post, and we have a only title and content. So I need 3 form group. Label for title, I'm giving a bootstrap class called form control. So this form group for content and another for button. So button type certainly will be the submit. Class will be button outline, say primary. Class will be add post. So before form I make a s2. Margin top bottom, say 3. So if I reload this page, okay, so we have to load this view. So we have to go to the post controller, and function name is create function. We have to actually just return this view. View is post create. That's all. So if we reload this thing, so this is the at post page. Okay, I mean we made some typo here. Button outline, it should be outline. Okay, instead of primary I think info is looking good. Okay, reload here. Nice, look decent. So we have a title field, content field. Whenever something someone click on post, it should be make a post. Okay, so now we have to tell the action page. So if I go here, so this is our route name for the action, I mean for the storing, post store. Route post store. So whenever we pass a post request to the Laravel server, so Laravel server actually tracking something called cross-site request forgery. This is called Csrf. When we make a website by our own using the raw PHP, we generally don't concern about the security issue. But Laravel is an enterprise level software, I mean framework. They think about a lot of security issue. So Csrf is one of the major security issue actually, and it's a very elementary security issue. I mean Csrf, no one can't make a post other than your domain. Suppose your domain yourname.com, I mean only this domain will be allowed in order to make a certain post. So adding the Csrf token is pretty easy in Laravel. Just add Csrf, that's all. It will add a token to your form. So without token you can't make any post. If I reload here and if I click right button and view page source, you'll find out some token is added here. This token actually came from server, your server. So whenever you post something, first your server check whether this token and earlier the token which is sent from the server is same or not. If that is same, then your server will allow you to update your content. That's all actually. It sounds simple. If you don't use those things, there might be some vulnerability issue. So we'll go to our post controller. We'll go to inside store method. This is the store method where actually we'll get all the request data, which actually collecting from the form. We're just echoing request, request, say title. So we say this is the title. If I click add post here, you'll find out this is the title. It actually getting from this controller, I mean store method. What we'll do, it's actually pretty simple. We'll just from the request variable, we will get the data from form and we'll store the data in our model. So our model name is post. We are creating a new post. We just make a area inside. So there is two column. One is title. So title will getting from request title, and another one is content. So that's all. It actually make a post. But think about it. Someone submitted their form without putting some value inside this form. So that could be an error. He will get error. So before inserting it in our form, we actually have to validate this form data. So easily we can validate in Laravel something called validate method. So this dot validate, it takes two parameters. The first parameter is request, your request. Then second parameter is an array of rules. So rule is, say I am telling the title you are passing, it is required. And the content you are passing, this is also required. So two things is required. We can add another argument like minimum character will be say 3 character, and for the content minimum character will be say 10 character. That will be a 5 character actually. So suppose we are echoing something here, say return Dhaka. It's our capital. You may understand. I mean, if it's return Dhaka, that means our validation is successful. If it's not returning Dhaka, that means our validation is not successful. It's a kind of childish way checking. Anyway, so post create. So if I click on add post, I'm not getting Dhaka. But if I putting some title here, and if I click add post, I'm getting Dhaka. So I mean it's validation in done. So thing is whether those things is validated or not validated, I'm not checking here in this create.blade.php file. So I have to check those things. If there is some validation error, I have to show to users that you already miss your title, you already miss your content. So it's also pretty simple. I'll go to the create.blade.php again. So before form, I'll checking whether this form, I mean user has some error or not. So it's called using if statement. I can check if errors. If there is some errors, okay, errors all actually. If there is some errors, this block will be executed. Say alert danger. So if I reload here again, if I click on add post, you'll find out you have some error. Okay, so what is error? We have to iterate our all the error. So it's also simple, just for each error all as error, and for each okay. So if I click on add post, now it's showing the title field is required. Suppose I giving a little value, suppose a, in content also a. So it will give me the difference. The title must be at least 3 characters. The content must be at least 10 characters. So this is the magic of Laravel. Very easily we can actually validate our form data. If we put in appropriate title and content, it will update our post table. So after creating this data, I should redirect him to the index page. So I'll just tell return redirect, and where we want to redirect, this is route post index page. Now go to create page again. So I'm making title, this is my first post. So suppose I put some lorem ipsum data here, and if I click on add post, it's actually posting successfully. If I go to bottom, this is my first post. This is my first post. So we have been created. But thing is, whenever we create something, and if I go to home page, we will get those things in the bottom of this page. So this is not a accepted behavior. So we have to loading all the posts actually in descending order. So we'll go to the index function. This is the all post. So instead of all, we are using so order by ID, and that will be a descending order. So if I reload this page, now it's different. This is descending order. This is my post, and this is 31 number post. So another thing you may find out here is about 31 post. So this is also not convenient. I mean, loading the 31 post in a single page. That would be better if we loading only 10 post. So it also pretty simple in Laravel. Instead of get, we will tell paginate. So it should be 10. Now we will go to the index.blade.php. After for each, we will link the rest page post links using post links function. So if I go to the bottom, so this is okay. I have to give some margin top, margin top say 4. So that's all. So very simpler way we can make pagination functionality in our page. So 3 things done. We can create post, we can store post, we can read a single post, we can read all the post. Now our edit part and delete part is left. So next to the each post, I will add a delete and edit button. So after here, I will make another anchor tag. So that will be for edit. So for the edit, this is post.edit and it takes a one argument. So argument will be post ID. So I am telling it's edit, class will be button, so button info. If I reload here, so if I click here edit, it will take me to the edit page. We didn't make our edit page, so it's showing nothing currently. Okay, now I will add the delete button here. So in case of delete, you may find out it's kind of different method. It's not a get method, so I can't send to the delete route using the anchor tag. I have to use the form. Method will be post and action will be post.destroy route. And it will also take a one parameter. One is post ID, I mean which post it going to destroy. And we have to pass the Csrf token since it's a form data. And another thing, though it's a method is post, from the HTML we can pass only get or post method, but it actually a delete method. So Laravel has some helper function called method directive. Here I am telling that it's a delete method. I think that's all. So I reload this page. Excuse me, I have to add a button. So button type is submit, class button danger. So here will be delete. If I reload this page, so this is the delete page. So since form is a block level element, it get down from this earlier line, so I have to make it the inline block. Class display inline block. It's a bootstrap class. If I reload this page, now it became in the same line. This is my first post. If I click here, it actually going this route, the post 31. So we have to tell Laravel we want to delete those things. So I have to go to the post controller. I have to go to the destroy method. So here we already have post. We'll just delete those posts. So after deleting post, what should I do? I mean, where should I go? We'll redirect back to the index page. If I suppose click on delete, it actually deleting. If I click on delete, it's deleted. So that could be a good, give a user an indication whether user really want to delete those things or not. I mean, such kind of alert. So we can easily put those things. So I have to go to the index.blade.php. On submit, I'm returning a confirm box. Delete this post. So if I reload this page again, and if I click on delete, it actually asking me, are you sure you want to delete this post? If I cancel this thing, it won't delete. If I click on delete, it will delete. So for the editing, I will go to the edit.blade.php. So edit and create will be same. So I'm copying whole thing from create.blade.php and pasting in edit.blade.php. So the only one different will be this route. This is from action is route.post.store, but for the editing it actually post.update. And another thing is method is put. That will be post store. Method will be put, like instead of add a post, update the post, and as submit button as well, update the post, and it will loading with the earlier value, I mean the old value. So value will be post title, all below, and insert this content. So in between text area I'll write post content. Okay, in between text area you shouldn't put any other space, otherwise it will make a space in your text area box. Okay, so post content. Now I have to load this edit page. I go to the post controller, edit. So we'll return view. So view resets in post edit, and I'm going to pass post compact. Okay, so earlier I used to pass using the array, and this compact post actually make those array. So if I reload this page again and if I click to the edit page, so this is the edit page. Okay, we don't have title. It should be inside this input field, not in level. If I click edit again, it's loading with edit page. So the last thing for the CRUD is updating this part. So if I click on update, it should be update. So if I click on update, it actually doing nothing. We have to change this thing. Instead of post, it will be update, and we have to pass the ID, post ID. So I'm reloading this again. If I click on update post, we are getting this update post page. So currently update post is empty. Post controller update. So here, if you remember the store part, this is the request which actually give me the form data, and this is the post itself. This post title, request title, post content will be my request content. That's all. Excuse me, it will be semicolon. So after that I will just save this thing, redirect back. So suppose I add 2 at the end. If I click on update post, now it's updating. So either those things updating or not, I should give user an indication that your post has been updated. So it also, we can give those indication using the session plus same message, your post now in edit page I can use this session. So I go to the edit.blade.php. So before form I'll checking first if it has a session or not. If session has message, if session has message, and if session has message, what should we do? We will give him users a alert that your post has been successful. So div.alert successful, that will be session get message. Alert success. And click on edit. So instead of 3 I put 4. Update post. Your post have been updated successfully. That's all. So our create, read, update, delete, everything is done. So thing is, create and update, edit part, it should be done by only the authenticated user, not as usual user can't do that. So Laravel comes with built-in authentication. Our CRUD part totally done. So authentication is pretty easy in Laravel. So just simple PSP artisan make auth. The simple command make the built-in authentication. If I click, now authentication is done. So now if I go to home page, if I go to the localhost 8000, there is 2 things, login and registration. So I click here register. So my name is Polu, email address poludev10@gmail.com, password is hello. Okay, password should be more than 5 character. Secret, you are logged in. So after logged in, I mean the home, but it should be in the post page actually. In current state, anyone can create post, update post and delete post. So we will add authentication in those route so that only authenticate user will able to create, update and delete post. So we will go to the post controller. So we are now inside this post controller, we will make a construct function which actually authenticate all of the method. Public function truct construct. So we are telling this middleware auth. So what actually this function will do? So we know the construct about the construct function in PHP. It's a magic method. So before loading any of the function, it actually loading the construct method. In the construct method, we are telling that before loading any of the method, we need the authentication. So that's all. This is the pretty simple. But thing is, we need authentication for create, update, delete, such kind of things, right? So in this case, we are telling except we need everywhere authentication, but only 2 places where we don't need authentication. One is index, here will only the method name. Another one is show. This page don't require any authentication. This is the post. I can visit this post. If I click on create post, it will take me to the register page, I mean login page. So this is the basic functionality of the authentication. Okay. So here I should put a logout button from where user can log out from this post page. Another thing, after login, user should redirect our post page, not the home page. So these 2 things I have to make functional. So first is logout. Logout should be in the master.blade.php. So before logout, I want to show something inside terminal. PHP artisan route list. So you may find out this is the logout. So logout is a method is post. It's not a get method, it's a post method. So we have to achieve logout functionality through the form, not using the anchor element. After create post, I will put a logout button. So I'm making a form. So form action will be route logout. Method will be post Csrf button I think that's all. If I reload this page, this is the logout thing. So logout generally people keep logout in the right side. So and another thing, form is a block level element, so we have to make the display inline block class display inline block float right. Now if we reload this page, so this is the logout button. So thing is, when should we show logout to the users? When user already logged in. So here I will make another if condition. If user is logged in, that time I will show those things at auth. If user is authenticated, else I will show the another thing. So this is very convenient directive, authentication and else and authentication. So else, so whenever user don't logged in, I will just show him the login page. So it will be anchor tag. Okay, for the quicker navigation, I am making such kind of silly things, but in real life, when you make any project, you shouldn't use such kind of navigation. You should go with the Bootstrap default navigation. You just copy from Bootstrap and reuse their navigation. That's all. So if I reload this page again, excuse me, there will be and dot. I spelling and. Okay, so this is login. If I click login, it will take me to the login page. Pulu deb10. My password is secret. So now I am login and I have a logout button. So now I can access any page, home page. I can edit things. I can update things. I can create any post. That's all. I can do anything since I am logged in user. So if I log out, so route actually a PHP method, so it should be inside curly brace. I should back to this page. So suppose if I click on logout, now I am logout. If I click on login, say I am giving my name again and password is secret. The thing is, after login it will take me to the home page, but after login it should be take me to the first page. So I'm opening something called register controller. Register controller. Here a variable called, property is called redirect to. Redirect to. So I'm telling after making registration, I should redirect to the first. Here as well. Redirect to should be. After login successful, it should redirect to the first page. So if I log out here, so try to log in again. Follow the 10@gmail.com secret. So that's all. Currently I'm in my first page. There is no way to know about who actually logged in. So that would be good things if we show the user's name who actually the authenticated right now. So this is the reason we need to go to the master.blade.php file. So before log out, I'll just give the user's name, authenticate username. Inside double curly brace, auth user name. This auth and user, it actually give the authenticate user. So from the authenticate user, I will just show the name of the user. So if I reload this page, it will show the name. Suppose Pulu Deb. So if I give a hyphen or a 5 character. How can you run this application in your machine? First, you should download this thing. So if I go to the download folder, so this is the download folder, I extract those things. So now I open this file in my terminal. So first thing I have to do, I install all the vendor file. Composer, install. So it install all the vendor file. Now I have to open this project in my Sublime editor. I make a .env file, .env, and copy everything from the .env.example. And my database name will be blog, say blog2. Username is root. Password, I don't have any password. So I'll go to my MySQL. Create database blog2. Now I have to delete old configuration. PHP artisan cache clear PHP artisan config clear PHP artisan key generate. Now I can migrate PSP artisan migrate, and now I can seed data PSP artisan db seed. Now I will run the development server by PSP artisan serve. So if I go to the localhost 8000, and go to the host, so this is all host. If you want to further study about Laravel, and if you want to know further about Laravel, you should visit the laravel.com and go through the documentation. And if you are a visual learner, a site called laracast.com, you can visit here, and they have a lot of tutorial, and most of the tutorial is free actually, though it's a kind of paid site. The things about Laracast, this site made by Japrio. I think if anyone asks me who is the best trainer in the planet, I will tell Japrio is the best trainer. You can't get such kind of trainer in the whole world. Suppose if I click on browse now, there are series. Most of the series is paid, but to learn Laravel, most of the series for the beginner, most of the series is free. So you can check out this site as well. Thank you for watching these videos, and take care.